What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Talk with three dudes.
What's going on?
Welcome to a new week.
What's happening? Yeah, I got so used to you saying that, dude. Like
Have you?
when you don't say it, like it doesn't feel right.
It's not the same.
It
Oh,
isn't.
well, that's cool.
You're the intro voice.
I'm the intro voice.
You got to
You
do
are.
it.
I got it.
It's a thing.
It is.
I mean, fuck, you've been doing that for what, 94 episodes now?
Pretty much.
Holy
yeah.
crap! This is 94.
It is.
Hey, speaking of that, I caught up on podcasts.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have.
Yay!
Oh, okay, hold on. Here, we'll do this. This one's for Eddie. Oh man! So we are revisiting Balvenie because once again, Eddie is still on his fitness journey, and he cannot drink whiskey.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair to open some of the new ones we have.
No.
So
No, we don't want to leave them out, and we
Soon.
haven't tasted the infinity bottle yet either.
no,
Because of that.
We haven't.
we have not.
And I'm glad we revisited this because we got this bottle how long ago?
It was a long time ago. You know what we should start doing is we should start writing dates on the bottom of the bottles, like for when we.
Opened them.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
That's actually
Yeah,
a pretty
unless
good
we can
idea.
remember how long it was.
So I want to say it's one of the first episodes where Larry joined us.
Yeah.
Was when he brought it.
Yeah,
And when we first tried it, from what I remember, I didn't really enjoy it because there was just so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
I just did not understand. But I think now that we're more experienced, I kind of like this.
it's a good time to revisit it. I think, especially since we're considering visiting some more scotches. I think after having, I think that, and it's funny because I watched that thing that Carlos sent about Octomore, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the most heavily peated whiskey," but to me, it didn't
It
seem
wasn't that much.
it didn't seem overwhelming. Like,
Nah.
I would imagine that for something that is supposed to be like that heavily peated, I would have been like, "Oh no, it's not good."
But to be fair, though,
But it
by
was
that
delicious.
point that we tried it, some of us were a little intoxicated,
Right, but we all tried it.
and it was really good.
Yeah.
Nobody tried it that didn't like it.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's that alone is an interesting feat. I think it is. It would be. I don't know if that's one that you pour for somebody that is their first time trying Scotch or whiskey in general.
I don't think so. Maybe
Definitely
something along
not.
the line, yeah.
No,
Definitely not. I think you would have to have some.
Like McKenna probably or
Expectation.
something like that. Just-
yeah, oh yeah, because this is a bit too complex. So Balvenie, so this is from Banff. Hold on, let me see if I can pronounce this. Banffshire. That's Banff, two Fs, Shire, Scotland.
Yeah.
It's a space side, as far as I know.
Yeah. It's definitely a space side.
It's aged. Let's see. The Balvenie Double Wood acquires its complex yet rich and smooth taste from its maturation in two different types of oak cask, whiskey oak and sherry oak. The whiskey oak is many years of maturation in traditional whiskey cask. Mellows the maturing spirit and imparts warming layers of vanilla spiciness. That's the first cask. Second cask, that's not me.
That was me.
It's in European oak sherry cask, increases complexity, bringing fruity, honeyed depths to the resulting single malt.
Hence the word double wood.
Yes.
Yep.
Hence the wood. The 12-year-old in me wanted to laugh at that, which, by the way, this is a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
12-year-old me.
And so I was looking up on Master of Malt. Now they talk about that. American cask before it's treated to a finish in the first. Okay, so the oak oloroso sherry butts for an additional 9 months. So after they age it for years in the American oak, they age it for 9 months in the sherry cask.
That little time, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it imparts. I mean, I guess you got to imagine that it imparts the flavor so
Mm-hmm.
rapidly. I mean, 9 months is, a very short time, especially in Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
for a whiskey.
Will they char the barrels inside?
They're probably already charred from
okay.
when they were. I don't think they're recharred. Them.
That's right. That's right. Because they don't use new.
No,
It's all old, like not old.
they're
but
used.
just
They
used.
use use bourbon or use wine
Mhm.
or.
In the words of Sam from I Am Sam, It's not used. It's pre-owned.
Yeah.
No.
So the tasting notes, on the nose it says Gristy. What the heck is Gristy? You want to look up Gristy? Gristy.
Yeah.
Supple nuttiness intertwined with spices. Honeyed sultanas. Once again, I don't know what that
I smell
means.
caramel.
Is that like a
Was it
female
caramel in there?
sultan? No caramel. But if you, I
Really?
mean, we've talked about this how like it's subjective to people.
Oh, that's
So if
true.
you smell caramel, I mean,
Who knows? Yeah, because
I guess
everybody has a different.
yeah, it probably depends on your
Yeah, I see you
smell
have a red
receptors.
hat. You say you have a blue hat.
Y-
Yeah, you
Some
know?
people are colorblind. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm telling you, like when I saw that review for Eagle Rare, and that lady was this lady that was saying that it tastes like Chinese food. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
what? Chinese food? But hey, that's what she tastes.
She was probably eating Chinese food and drinking at the same time. Who
No,
knows?
she wasn't.
No.
I'm just saying.
She wasn't.
No, what she was probably tasting was white pepper. And that's what a lot of people attribute to
Oh, Chinese food.
Yeah.
Honeyed sultanas and grapes. It says hugely inviting on the nose.
So grist or ground grist
grapes,
refers to a malt and cereal that is ground in the brew house. It's a fancy way of saying malty, I guess.
Okay. All right. What about sultanas? It's like sultan, but with an as at the end.
It's not saladitos.
No, it's not saladitos.
It's a type of grape.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Brandied sultanas. Sultana is a white oval seedless grape variety.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a type of grape.
So it's kind of redundant when it says honeyed sultanas and grapes because it's a type of grape.
When they say that, do they put the grapes inside with the liquor?
Well, the sherry cask, it's a type
It
of
imparts,
wine.
yeah, it imparts the grape flavors. That's where you're getting that like
I
grape
see.
and pretty much the sweetness of it.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
I can see the grape smell on the nose. On the palate, it says sweet with good body. I feel uncomfortable now.
Yeah,
The bourbon characters develop gentle spice with a little vanilla, a hint of balancing peat lurking quietly in the substrata, dried fruit too, combining with nuts, nutmeg, cinnamon, back in the bourbon notes.
I do remember a nutty taste on it.
Kinda like
tasted it last
walnuts.
night, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Kinda like that
Last time
walnut
I tried
flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. On the finish, a spicy, slightly drying. It does have kind of a dry finish.
I mean, there's some spice there. I don't know that. I guess spicy is like subjective, but
Right.
not
Not like-
overly like
It's not like a rye.
not
kinda,
bite,
that's
not
what
like
I was
a
thinking.
not like a spicy bite, but like yeah, there's some there. But definitely not overwhelming. Complements everything really nice.
I gotta say, this is really nice. Do
It
you remember
is.
how much it was? Here it
I
is.
don't. I think it's around $60. I want to say.
It says on the
Yeah, I
Whiskey
think so.
Exchange, it says about $38.75.
I don't remember it being that cheap, but then again, I bought it at Bevmo, so
Mm.
you know how they do.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
know
yeah,
how they
yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Wrong play. No. They have good selections though.
they do, but once you get the way to make it worth it, or on par with some other places, is to take the $10 off of 50 coupon that they send every once in a while.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I mean if you get
Do you have to sign up for that?
yeah, I think it's part of their reward club or whatever. Like you'll get them I get them every once in a while.
The my favorite reward thing not really reward thing, but club I joined is the High West.
Yeah, so far I think maybe we should start looking into other ones to see if they have any other stuff like that. Any other distilleries do. They might.
I'm pretty sure on the big ones like Jack Daniels or something like that. And I know we're not a big fan of Jack Daniels, but for sure they have something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check. I don't know. I signed up for it because I thought, maybe I'll start using this again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Start writing all
Revisit some of these ones that we took notes on.
Yeah, because at least we can find out what it. Because I was thinking right now is like it's kind of hard for me to remember every taste that we did when we go back and revisit it. Because I'll be like, man, I don't remember. Or sometimes I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
For some reason, I remember this one.
Mm.
Yeah. probably.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it might have been one of the not that we've tried very many, but I think it was one of the first scotches we tried.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
we haven't done that many scotches yet.
Once again, would not recommend for a beginner, but definitely if you're pretty seasoned, it's good.
Yeah, well, yes and no. It's not. I mean, it's a space side, which means it's there's a little bit of smoke there, but there's a lot more sweetness than there is smoke. And some of the savory characteristics that some other people describe with Isla's and stuff like that are not really present here. So I mean, it's a good introduction to Scotch, maybe, but not. I mean, there. I guess there are worse ones.
Well,
For this.
I would say for introduction, maybe Monkey Shoulder. I mean, it's a blended Scotch.
Maybe that's
or-
one I have to try again because I didn't care for it the first time I tried
Yeah.
it. You guys liked it. I didn't really care for it.
What do you just think of the angel wing one, or the one over there?
Angel's Envy?
That's the one.
I don't remember. I
I
remember.
don't think
I
that was a
remember.
Scotch.
No, that's not.
No, it's not a Scotch.
It's
was
a
a-
sherry cask finished bourbon. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I remember being kind of overwhelmed given the amount of hype, or underwhelmed given the amount of hype that people like.
Gave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
That's what
worth
Monkey
retrying.
Shoulders was to us too.
I mean, especially for me because I didn't really care for it, but I guess it's one to retry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
not
liked it.
particularly expensive.
So prior to starting the podcast, Larry and I tried a few of the bottles. We were like, all right, let's see. Do we want to try this? Do we want to try that? And surprisingly, we tried Legion, and then we remembered this one leaves you wanting more. Like
Yeah,
very
kind of.
bland.
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
Then we tried the Las Vegas Distillery, the wheated whiskey. I remember I liked that one, but I don't know if it's because it's been out for a bit and we haven't tried it for a bit. And it's been open for a while.
Well, you got to remember too when it was here in the summer too.
Mhm.
You know, it evaporated some of it, so probably
Right.
went to like it watered it down.
Well,
so
it's
to
pretty
speak,
pretty
right?
low proof anyway.
Okay.
So and then also there's a lot of headroom in that bottle because it's just there's only a little bit left. That also contributes to. Some people will say that
That could be a factor.
it could be a factor.
What else did we try?
Pinhook Rye.
Pinhook Rye, right?
Yeah.
And that one,
That was okay, but it wasn't like it didn't really speak to me. It didn't really say like this is what I want. Kind of wanted something a little bit more punchy.
yeah. And then I grabbed the Balvenie and I was like, well, let's revisit this one.
I'm surprised we still had some, but then again, I'm not surprised because we probably didn't enjoy it. I think Eddie might have trouble with this one.
You think
This
so?
one maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Probably
Might,
when I
think
start
might,
drinking it,
I think you
I'll
might. I think you might really like it.
Oh, that kind of
that
trouble.
type.
Yeah. Pikesville trouble. Because I'm looking at the Pikesville
Oh,
bottle.
okay.
That's all empty.
Yeah.
Man, that thing. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
kind of trouble.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you meant like trouble, like he's not gonna like it.
No.
No.
You
You know,
might like it
actually,
too
now
much.
that I started drinking a little bit more rye and stuff like that, I enjoy it.
Mm.
It depends. It has to be like in the middle range of not too spicy, not too overwhelming. But other than that, if it's too much, then I know I'm not gonna like it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
That makes
it makes sense. I'm kind of bummed that Whistlepig wasn't there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I really enjoy their rise.
yeah, because that would have
So
been a
good.
good one. Well, it wouldn't have mattered because I was gonna say that would have been a good one for you to try, but then it's like, oh, but you tried them last time.
I did try. I did like it last time. Though.
Yeah.
I tried it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it is nice to have something a little bit more punchy. Like if, man, I think we finished that bottle, but I think if we would have had some more of the red breast cast string,
Oh, that one was good.
that one
was
was
good.
good. That one probably would have hit the spot right now.
That's an Irish,
Yeah.
Irish whiskey.
Yeah, but that one was. It's funny because then we tried the regular one, and the regular one was like, eh.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? How about this one and that Johnny Walker that we tried last time when Brian Mason was here?
Oh, the Blue Label.
Yeah. Compared to this, because that's a Scotch too.
Yeah, I don't remember the. Blue
I don't. Yeah, I don't
Label.
particularly remember. I remember again, maybe given some of the cost. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's something that I would have ran out and tried, but I think I remember liking it.
Somebody was telling me that at Costco they have like I guess a sample of 3 or 4 in a box for like $60 or something.
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah,
just smaller bottles.
yeah.
though.
They're the smaller bottles. They have like black, gold, green, And I don't think they have blue, but they
No.
have like a couple, like 3 or 4 different.
He was telling me that he's like, yeah, invite me. He's like, I'll bring some tequila. We do some tequila tasting. I was like, I don't know about that, man.
No,
He's
Hey.
like, you better pick me up from the floor or something. Cause
I'm down.
damn,
I'm not
I don't
down.
know. I don't know. He was all. He's
Brian
like,
said that?
no. It was old coworker.
Oh, okay.
And because I went over to go pick up something, and he was all, because he was like, hey, what's a good ride to try out and stuff like that. So or whiskey to try. So we're all talking. I was like, well, McKenna's pretty good if you can find it. If not, Jim Beam's pretty good. Distiller's Cut. I went and told him, and then I told him about Centauri and the whiskeys or all those, and he's like, okay. And then I told him about the Nika.
Yeah.
The Nika coffee. I was like, that's a good one to try too, just to start out. And then he's like, all right, well, he's like, what do you recommend out of all of them? I was like, I recommend the Nika because I loved it.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because I'm just biased on it and I just love that one.
No,
It's not that. It's not that, because I've that's one of the bottles that, like, if I know somebody is down to try whiskey, but like it's a gathering and like I know people aren't gonna pour fucking soda in it. I've taken a bottle to something like that and then tried it, and we're like really surprised by how good it was.
Yeah, it was really good.
Because it's one of those things that it's like just looking at the bottle itself, like you wouldn't think that
Exactly.
Like, you wouldn't think there's a whole lot to it. You're just like, well, it's pretty
Simple,
very
pink
unassuming.
label. Yeah, very unassuming.
Yeah.
Simple pink label.
So he told me, he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna get a bottle. I was like, if you get a bottle, call me or text me and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Because I really want to know, if you really like it. He's like, can I have it with ice? And I was like, you can have it either or, but I like it straight.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to mix, because I like just the flavor of it. Anyways. So, yeah, he was just telling us about, because he has like a tequila collection. And he's like, I'll just bring some tequila and you guys can try it out. I was like, oh, I'll ask the guys, but we'll see.
I think I'll skip that.
Well, it depends on what kind of tequila it brings.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure you'll probably bring, I don't know.
I'm just not a fan.
I don't know.
Just the flavor, it makes me go.
Yeah, the smell.
Yeah.
Try the tequila I tried from Cutwater was good.
I'm sure it was. It's just
It was good.
I don't like
It had like a smoky, like you can taste the agave.
Okay.
It wasn't like overpowering. It wasn't just like, rubbing alcohol. It wasn't like paint thinner.
You know who would be a good one for that? Carlos.
Yeah.
That fool loves tequila, right?
Sure.
Sure.
You sure?
Then we gotta take a boys' trip to Cutwater Distillery.
That'd be cool.
They have good food.
I'm down for food. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
have good food and they have good drinks too.
no argument for me. I mean, maybe after you're done with this thing, when you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which how much longer do you have?
3 weeks.
Damn, bro.
3 weeks more.
Can you speed it up, dude?
Try to.
Come on,
yeah.
man.
I don't know.
How's it going, by the way?
The clock's ticking. Huh?
How's it going?
Good. Yeah, it's good. I'm sore as a mofo today.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been good. Eating got better. Drinking water, working out every day. Yeah, I'm down 12 pounds so far.
Do you feel a difference?
Yes and no. Okay, so yes, I feel a difference because now I don't get winded fast, and then I can, I could walk pretty quick. I could pick up stuff, and I don't get like, or I could tie my shoe without like, breaking a sweat. But other than that, because I found out how much out of shape I am today, especially when I was doing leg day, and I was like, man, everybody else is just jamming through, and I'm like, fuck, man, it's like I'm really out of shape. Like that's bad. It's really bad. But other than that, I love it.
Hey, you start somewhere, man.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's good. It's going good. I like it. I'm like addicted to it right now.
I had a love-hate relationship with leg day. I loved it and I hated it.
Yeah,
Like, it was-
it's like one of those. I think it's certain exercises that you do. You're like, all right, cool, I could do that. And or some other, you're like, fuck that. Like because we had to do one where you have to like skip over like 3, 4. So you have to hop 4 like little beams over. They're small. They're like really small. So you're jumping over and then do push-ups. Do 2 push-ups and get up and do it again. Dude, I was like, my body could not like coordinate with like what I was doing.
You're like, I understand what I'm supposed to be doing,
but my
but
body
I can't do
said,
it.
yeah, my body was like, It's like, dude, you're old. I was like, but yeah, other than that, there's some stuff. And then we had this one where you have to get, so I got a 25-pound So they had a bench, so I had to switch legs. So I'll start with my right leg, go on top of the bench, and put all my body up, come down, squat.
Yeah.
Then switch to the other, go up, come up, squat. We do it for like I think it's 45 seconds.
Yeah.
But 45 seconds is a fucking long time when you're.
Oh, it seems like an
out.
eternity.
Yeah, and then he says switch and stuff like. But yeah, it's just different. I just like it because every time I go is something different. It's not the same thing.
Okay, it's not monotonous.
No, it's always something. They work cardio. They work, your leg muscles. And after that, the next day will be like full body. So they're doing cardio like crazy and doing push-ups, sit-ups, and stuff like that. But it's fun. It's been good.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Your face looks a little thinner. Not a lot, but I do see a little difference.
Yeah.
Speaking of faces,
Facebook.
This may be this may be a short conversation, or it could be an interesting one. Are your ears part of your face?
It's
wow. That's a good question.
It's on the side of your head.
So would that be part of your head?
That's over your cheeks, technically.
Yeah, but it's further back.
Yeah, I kind of figured it out, at least where I'm at with the conversation. But what do you guys think?
I think it's face adjacent. I've heard that term, but it's like
no.
I've heard that term like in politics. In politics
work.
and in news, they're like, "Well, he's a right wing adjacent."
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan, he's right.
Yeah.
I want to say it's part of your head. Because it's back enough where it's not in your face.
That is an interesting question. It depends on how far out your ears stick out.
No, it doesn't.
No.
I'm
disagree.
I'm thinking of like where it is right here.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we're talking about, right? Or is it the whole?
Is it part of your face?
So, well, strictly speaking, we're talking about like external, your outer ear.
Oh, okay.
Just
your outer ear.
Yeah.
Not, I mean,
I would say no then.
Because internally, yeah, they connect to your sinuses and such. Or
I think your face consists of eyes, nose, mouth, cheeks, forehead.
Actually, when having this conversation, somebody said they're like anything above your eyebrows isn't your face, and I was like, wait, what? Your forehead isn't your face?
Really?
Originally, he was arguing hairline isn't part of your face, which I kind of agree with.
Yeah.
But he said, I was like forehead, but he was bald too, so I guess that's why he was making that argument.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have a forehead, he just has.
He has
all the way back.
Yeah.
He has a full head.
So, an argument can be made to say that it's neither. It's its own separate thing. Granted, it is connected to your head, but they delineate. They delineate where your face ends and your head begins. So
I
it could be.
See that, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still convinced. Somebody was like, "Oh well, what if they have really big ears and they distract from the face?" Like, okay, but I've seen boobs that distract from the face. So are boobs part of your face?
They can be.
Well, I mean, if you're lucky, if you're nice enough, they can be.
That was funny.
And then somebody was like, "Oh, well, yeah, but they connect to your nose." And I was like, "Okay, so by that logic, then your toes are part of your brain." I was like, "Oh, well, they're not connected with internal structures." I'm like, no.
Well,
Just because they're connected internally doesn't make it part of your face. And I'm strictly speaking, we're talking about external, your outer ear.
So would that be your nose the same thing?
Well, your nose is part of your face.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, because it sticks out just like your ears.
Hey, Eddie, do you know what's the largest organ on your body?
What?
Take a guess. What do you think is the largest organ?
Largest organ? Your stomach?
No.
No?
No. Incorrect.
Wow.
It's your skin.
No.
That's true.
That's true.
It's the dermis.
Yeah.
All of it. The epidermis.
Including your weenus.
Including the weenus. Is that a medical term?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Look it up.
You know what? I am going to look it up right now.
You should look it up. It's not what you think.
Let me see. Weenus. How do you spell that? Weenis?
No, I think it's just Wenis.
That's what I was going to say.
Wenis. Weeness.
Did it come up? What it says?
Oh, it's Weenus.
Oh, wow.
Or Weenis. It's a slang word for the excess of loose skin at the joint or one's elbows, which is technically referred to as olecranal skin. Olecranal skin.
Oh, shit.
Interesting. The weenus.
Yeah.
It ain't the taint.
Look, my weenus is on the table.
Yeah.
I mean,
See?
yeah. Technically, it is.
Yeah. Sometimes your parents get mad when you put your weenus on the table.
That's true. You're not supposed to.
It's considered poor form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So.
That's cool. That's
So yeah, I figured it
but
was
how did
an
that come
interesting
up,
conversation. Well, I don't know.
It just did.
Weenus, face, ears. I don't know. What were we talking before that? About the...
Yeah, we were...
the camp, yeah.
Yeah, because you mentioned something about your... Oh, yeah, because you mentioned about his face.
Yeah.
That's right. So, is this your first leg day type thing, or you did it before?
No, I did it before, but this one, I guess the guy did a good job this one.
Do you find your legs are worse the day after or 2 days after?
2 days after.
It's always the case.
The second day, you're like, I feel it, but it's cool. But the third day, you're like, son of a bitch. And it's funny because I'm not going to work out tomorrow, but I'm going to work out on Sunday. So Sunday's full body, so I know I'm going to feel it.
You're going to be fucked on Sunday.
Yeah. Then I just start, so I'll go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take Thursday off, Friday, take Saturday off, and go again Sunday. But that's for some reason, my body likes that schedule. Well, I like that schedule.
Well, your body is you.
Yeah,
that's true.
I used to drink BCAAs to help with that.
They told me if I wanted to get some.
Yeah, that helps. That helps with that.
I got some glutamine too.
Yeah, glutamine helps.
Well, if you get a decent enough BCAA, it will also contain glutamine. Yeah, so both of them combined should help.
I'll probably do that then. I'll probably get some glutamine.
You tried steroids?
No.
Mexican supplements?
No. Bro. They make your junk small.
Well, good thing you don't have to worry about that. It's already small.
Damn it.
See, you could have got in with because it's so big that it could, But no, you missed your opportunity.
I do need that. I did. I need a reduction.
I did.
Yeah, you missed your opportunity.
I did.
Dang. No, pues wow.
I always joke about that, about wanting to try steroids, but there's too many bad side effects, man. You got the acne, you got the back knee.
The roid rage.
The roid rage.
Oh, yeah.
The small weenus.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the weenus, right? It's just the, I guess the sack shrinks.
No.
So that's not good.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Then it'll fuck up with your heart and shit like that. I'm guessing.
That too, man. I'm surprised Arnold's still kicking.
Well, I mean, I would imagine he stopped early enough to where. Plus, I think maybe like in that day and age, they weren't doing as much crazy shit as what is available now.
Yeah, now it's different because now everything's available.
Or I'm sure everything was not synthetic back then, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Me either. I'm not a bodybuilder. Eddie is though. No, he's on his way.
Not.
So no. So do you plan on continuing this lifestyle afterwards?
Yes.
But you're gonna include whiskey in it.
Yes, but it's only once a week.
Why did you hesitate?
Why did I hesitate?
Yeah, I didn't like that hesitation.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I did.
Dang.
No.
Wow.
I was still I did notice that I could stop drinking if I wanted to.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I don't need it. It's whatever. Not like that, but you know what I mean? If I want it, I'll have it.
Yeah.
But I noticed that. And then I noticed about food and controlling my food. I control what I want to eat. Back then, I didn't control. I just ate whatever fucking food was in front of me, pretty much.
I'm kind of there right now. I'm trying to get back to.
Yeah.
Trying
Portion
to get back
size
to being
is very important. So, yeah, I'm just starting. The only thing that worries me is after this thing is working out, because the only reason why I like going to this place, because it's all a group and it's a bunch of people doing it, which is different because you feel the support. You know what I mean?
Yeah, doing it by yourself kind of sucks.
It does, because you're just doing it and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm bored.
It's having accountability.
True.
Well, that's just that, but I mean, depending on the type of person you are, like when you're by yourself, you can really, it's easier to half-ass it
Oh
because
yeah,
nobody's
yeah,
gonna call you out
yeah.
on it.
No, yeah, exactly,
You
exactly.
know, I mean,
You're like, okay, 20 minutes. That's 10. That's good. I'll fight that. Bye.
yeah, 15. That's good.
I'll move to the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no,
I
that's one
mean,
thing.
that just depends on
Yeah,
Then
I would
then
love.
you have to realize like, yeah, you're only cheating yourself. But
Oh
you
yeah, I
know,
would love to continue, but it's like fucking $116 a month. That's a lot.
that's not that much, really. It sounds like a lot, but I think like if it's something that you enjoy and you benefit from, I mean,
Oh yeah,
there's more expensive hobbies to have, and
that's true.
Yeah.
the ones that are that are
They're not.
much less beneficial to you overall.
And that 116, it includes like personal training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, that's not
I
bad.
mean, think about it. When we used to smoke, we were spending more than that on cigarettes.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so
It's true.
yeah,
Yeah. So
so that's another way to look at it.
yeah, and yeah, it makes sense though, because I think the year is like $1,200. Yeah, 1,200.
1,200? Really? So that's
That's
100 a month.
Yeah, 100 a month. Well, that's if you pay it all at once, I think, right?
Yeah, you get a discount.
Versus pay, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you get a discount if you pay the whole thing.
I see. In that case, yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to pay 1,200.
Yeah, no, I would take the monthly plan.
Because what if one month you're like, this month I don't feel like going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then if you pay 1,200 though, you'd be like, I better go.
Yeah, because you already
Nah.
paid for the year.
Nah.
no,
Larry's like, nah.
no, it wouldn't work that way.
We'll see.
Oh, I mean, do you have flexibility, like, or is it just like it just gets auto drafted? Because that would suck. What if you go on vacation and it's like, oh, you're out for 2 weeks and then like
Well-
you paid for the whole month.
I learned that you could actually like pause it
Mm.
if you leave or whatever for a couple months and then come back and redo it again. Where they start taking whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but no, we'll see.
Hmm.
We'll see
Right
what
on.
happens.
Yeah, that's not bad to do it that way. That's why. I mean, because that would suck. You're paying monthly and then it gets auto drafted and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
am
and
I
then you
supposed to-
can.
those are an expensive 2 weeks.
Did you guys watch the gun rally in Virginia?
I was keeping an eye.
No.
I was keeping an eye on it to see if anything fun happened, but no, nothing crazy.
It was very
I-
peaceful.
I watched a dude going around with a trash bag picking up trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, okay, that's
Like, who's really the people for the environment? Makes
Yeah.
you wonder.
yeah, because I've seen some of the pictures after the,
Other
other
rallies.
marches, and,
Right.
even ones that are environmentally
Dude,
focused.
it gets so
Yeah.
trash. I went to the one that I went to in San Diego. I mean, there was just flyers. I mean, just trash everywhere
Yeah,
on the floor, confetti everywhere. It was just a mess.
Like, why you have to do confetti? Like,
Well, I don't know.
just do jazz hands instead of confetti.
there you go.
Yeah,
There
With
you go.
because you can't clap.
You got to wear the sparkly gloves though.
No, that might be
Oh,
triggering
you're
to
talking about
somebody.
that one. Oh,
You think so?
It could be.
Sparkly gloves?
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
it could be what?
It
Could
could
be.
trigger someone.
Could trigger somebody.
No,
It could trigger epilepsy.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
The light hits him a certain way. Yeah,
It's like, it's not a seizure. He's dancing.
yeah.
He loves
Just
this.
breakdancing.
Remember when I used to pretend I'd have a seizure? People would freak out, be like, "Is you right?" It's like, "No, I'm dancing. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's on the floor dancing. That's how I dance." But I don't know if did I forward that video to you guys where that Elad was there's this interviewer on YouTube. He interviews people, but he's interviewing the people at the rally.
I don't remember.
I don't remember watching. You might have, but maybe I didn't watch it.
So he was interviewing people, and most of the time, like he interviews both sides, and he's very nuanced. Him and this other dude I like watching too. His name's Nuance Bro on YouTube. But very like he was talking to everybody. There's people from all different lifestyles and stuff. Like they had gay people there that were fighting for their gun rights because they're talking about like especially this gay lady was like I'm a small woman. How am I supposed to protect myself?
Yeah.
So if they're trying to take away my right to have a gun, like
Yeah. There was I saw trans rights for or transsexuals for gun rights or something similar to that. I mean, there was black people there.
Yeah.
There was people of all colors, which is strange because it was supposed to be a white supremacist rally,
Right.
according to some people, or white nationalist rally, according to some news sources.
And that's what he was asking people too. So he's like, "Do you feel like, have you seen any Nazis here? Any white nationalists? Do you feel like uncomfortable being here?" And this black gentleman was like, "No." He's like, "I feel very welcome here. I feel very comfortable." He's like, and mind you, it's MLK Day today.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King was very much for his Second Amendment right. He actually applied for a concealed weapon to protect himself, but he, of course, during the time he was being investigated and being harassed by the FBI at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he's like, it's part of our civil rights to be able to protect ourselves.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is they're for everybody. I think I brought this up as well, but I mean, even for people that, that's one of the things. It's like, oh, if people commit felonies and they don't have gun rights, and it's like, well, I don't know, like, is their life less valuable just because they've made certain mistakes? Yeah, in some instances, like if their felony is like armed robbery, maybe that's not such a good thing. But there's other felonies that don't involve any type of violence, and their gun rights are stripped and voting rights are stripped. Even in some cases of, like, somebody got in a fight, many years ago. I knew a guy nicest guy in the world. Guy got in a fight, something happened, and it got tried as a felony, and he lost a lot of his rights.
Yeah.
And it hadn't happened. He hasn't been a criminal otherwise ever since, and it's just, he still doesn't have a lot of his rights. I know there's a pathway, I guess, to get that, to get certain crimes expunged or whatever, but I don't know how that works necessarily.
Yeah, and it might take a lot of money too.
Yeah,
a lot of legal representation, a lot of time,
court fees, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're trying to, live your life, pay your bills. Like, you probably don't have time to be going to court.
Yeah.
You probably don't have the money.
Too. Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, that is something I hope we do look into as far as reforming, certain criminal laws, to where it's like, if you've gone this long without committing a crime.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
All right.
You've been a positive member of society,
contributing,
and you haven't committed crimes since, then maybe that should be reconsidered, rather than just giving people a free pass now ahead of time. I don't think that does a whole lot,
right?
But yeah, no, it was interesting. It seemed that a lot of news outlets were touting it as like, oh, there's going to be violence, and lo and behold, they ended up doing pretty much like absolutely nothing, and yet government did 80% of what it is that was being protested anyway, because Governor Blackface doesn't give a fuck.
Which is hilarious, because the same gentleman was like, he's like, it's funny that the guy that's trying to take away our guns was, he's like, the only person I saw wearing a hoodie was the guy that's taking away our guns.
Yeah.
So, but then again, we don't know whether he was wearing the hood
or in the
blackface.
We're giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying he was in the blackface, but he might have been in the hood. Yeah, that might have been him.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
One of our favorite people on this planet, AOC, was talking about that.
Oh God.
She's like, if you notice, like, there's this rally going on for gun rights, and if you notice, it's a majority of white people, and there's like no police presence, as opposed to when we go out and we're fighting for our rights, and they have to have cops there. It's like, no, they had multiple police forces there.
Well, not just that, but nothing happened, and those rights that the literal, they're going out fighting for the rights. They're literally doing that. They're going and bashing people and throwing milkshakes with concrete at people, and
messing up
physically
businesses,
assaulting people, throwing trash cans, which I never found seemed fascinating, that they're just so obsessed with trash cans, but you see that often. Yeah, there's a
yeah.
distinct difference in terms of the type of protesting.
Trash attracts trash.
Yeah, I guess so.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice segue right there.
But yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
yeah,
just
she
saying
also
that.
said other dumb shit like, "Oh, you don't make $1 billion, you take $1 billion," and I was like, I don't think that's how that works. The other quote that I was like, okay, this is interesting, where she was like, "Oh yeah," and she was still talking about of course Amazon, because she has a hard on for Amazon, saying that
She really does.
we don't want your money, we want your power, and I was like,
Oh, dude.
like, what does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? Like, Amazon did not start as what it is. Like,
It was a bookstore.
it was a bookstore.
It was a guy having a dream.
It was a bookstore. I mean, I've seen videos of Jeff Bezos when it first started. That dude was super excited about his business. Like, you have no idea what it takes to start a business like that. Like, the type of sacrifices you have to sacrifice.
No, apparently you just take it from single mothers and black people.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And how many people does Amazon?
I think last year they employed over 750,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Probably more than
providing not really a lifestyle, but like providing some income, a way to make a living for people.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what somebody was telling me. Like, somebody mentioned something like, "Oh yeah, Jeff Bezos makes $4,000 or $4 million an hour," because we were talking about like we were having a conversation about college and how there's a lot of people that don't know how loans work. Saying that like, oh, student debt, like, yeah, the interest rate, you shouldn't have to pay more than what you owe. I was like, that's interest rate. That's how all loans work. Like, I learned about that when in high school economics class. How are you, Mr. Smart College student, not understanding these simple concepts,
dude?
And it was, it was like, oh yeah, but like, in my mortgage, like if I have a 20-year mortgage and I owe this much, and then in 10 years I'll have paid it off. And it's like, okay, so yeah, but if you decide not to pay it off, guess what? You don't get to stay in the home.
Mm-mm.
The bank gets that house.
Mm-hmm.
So there's collateral there. Like,
they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
No, like how, of course, student loans have a different, structure in terms of their interest rate, because there's nothing to repossess. It's an unsecured loan.
It is an unsecured loan. By the way, did you see when that someone's dad, he confronted Warren on that?
Yeah, so that's what kind of was getting towards is there was a guy that was having a conversation with Elizabeth Warren and asked like, hey, so I saved, I worked and I saved to pay for college education for my kid. Like, if you're gonna do student loan forgiveness, do I get a refund? And she was like, well, of course not. And then it was like, well, so but wait, you're willing to give a student loan forgiveness to somebody who decided that to go on vacation or buy a new truck, as opposed to saving? Like, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's priorities. The problem in America is not the amount of money you make, it's priorities. And I've seen that time and time again. Like I said before, like, I've sat down with countless amount of families, and it's just priorities. They're like, oh, well, or you even see it like on Instagram or on social media, where people are bitching about like, well, I'm not making enough money, like, it's not fair. Yet you see them spending money on some stupid ass shit like the newest makeup, or they're going to the some music festival that costs God knows how much. Yeah. And it's like, okay, or they get the newest iPhone. They're like, oh, look what I got. It's like, but wait, weren't you just bitching about not having enough money? Like, what just happened? Like, you don't need the newest phone.
That's the thing is, like, I remember having some of this conversation, and she was because we were talking about like why college is so expensive these days. Mm-hmm. And it's because it's government backed loans. Yeah. I was like, look, I explained it to her this way. I was like, look, okay, so if I gave you a magic purse that every time you reached in it, you had the exact amount of money that you needed to pay for something, like, wouldn't you start buying nicer things that would cost more? It's like, welcome to the world of government-backed loans.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever price, tuition, administrative fees, and books, like that all gets paid for, right? And this is not taking into account people that use their student loans to buy cars, to go party, to go, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
And I had always wondered, like, how can these college students afford to do all those things? And then, like, it's student loans. Like, that's what they use part of it for. Like, to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
They'll
Like,
go out and splurge or whatever.
what the heck?
Because
Like,
and then it was like, oh yeah, well, because I was like, look, step one of fixing this issue of the student loan crisis. Step one, I don't, and of course, certain political beliefs aren't gonna agree with this. But step number one, and this even happens in the countries that do free college, not everybody gets to go to college. Raise the bar academically across the board. Make it harder to get in, because right now, anybody that wants to go to college can go to college, right? Because I mean, now they're talking like teachers have been fired because they can't give their students an F, right? So if that's happening now in K through 12, like what's going to happen when college is also quote unquote free? That's what's like, oh yeah, well, and of course it's always like, so like there's a lot of things that I have seen some valid criticism of boomers and the generation, in the difference in their lifestyle, that it was easier for them to work a job and pay their way through college. But one of the things that's not ever mentioned is the availability of government backed loans. They didn't have that, right? So the costs were a lot less. Not just that, but it was a higher standard in terms of academically. You would get held back if you failed, so the bar was standard. And not just that, but because of that, it actually, there was a point, and then, oh yeah, college degree is worthless. Well, yeah, because everybody that wants one can get one now. That's why it's worthless. Like, when you make it about like, oh, everybody deserves blank, well, guess what's going to happen in the cost of that blank that everybody deserves? It's going to go up.
That, and it decreases the value of it too, though.
Well, yeah, because everybody can have one. I mean, that's the thing. And it was mentioned like, oh yeah, well, but if you increase the academic, or like less people are going to go, and we're going to have a shortage of doctors, and it's going to be even further. It's like, well, yeah, but I generally don't hear doctors complaining about their student loans the way that people are now. The people that are complaining about their student loans typically are ones that took a major that didn't do anything for them, right? And that's not to say like, oh yeah, I know a lot of doctors and none of them ever complain, but I think it's different because once they do get out and once they do go through the residency and stuff, like they're making a decent amount of money in which they can pay back their loans if they had to take any. I mean, I would imagine the same thing applies for law school, but yeah, it's interesting. And it's just, yeah, it's crazy. I was talking to somebody and telling me about like how he went through college and now he has a kid, and the kid's going through college and how much more it is. Just like the cost of what he went through when he went through college to a state school is what is being like what he's paying now for his kid to go through a community college. Like it's crazy.
That's just nuts, man.
Yeah, but it's all free money. Like if you take a government backed loan, and in the perspective of the school, it's free money. It's guaranteed. Like you're gonna get it. So.
Oh yeah, for the school, yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just admit anybody? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not about, for as far as college is concerned, it's not about education. It's a business now.
Yeah,
it's just a business.
Well, and that's the thing is like, and that's the thing is who pushes that? Who pushes? Oh, you need a college degree to have a good job. The education system.
Maybe back in the day, but that boat has sailed.
Yeah.
Different now.
Yeah.
Very different.
And I think that's one of the things that, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs like really highlights. It's like, dude, there's jobs that need to be done that aren't exactly glamorous, but they pay pretty well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, call a plumber, see how much he charges you for showing up.
Gosh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
Call an
consultation.
electrician,
Mm-hmm.
you know? They don't necessarily have to go to college. I mean,
HVAC.
Yeah, that's another one right there.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that's
there's not that many people that do that or electrical right now. There's a shortage of them.
And that's the thing is, think about it. Like, that's one of the things that as long as we live in homes, we're going to want to be able to regulate the temperature.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, speaking of temperature, which that brings me to another topic I want to talk about, was Greta Thunberg wanting to get rid of fossil fuels right away. I forgot who I was listening to, but they were talking about how, like, okay, say we do get rid of fossil fuels right away, millions of people are going to die. Because you got people that live in arid conditions that need to regulate their home's temperature.
Okay. Not just that, but let's look at this.
People that are sick that need certain machines.
Not, and let's look at this from an even dumber level. How are you going to charge your Tesla?
Right.
I mean,
It's
right
not solar
now,
powered.
yeah, like, I mean, sure, you can have a solar, like, okay, so you get home from work and it's dark. Now what?
Not just that, but how are you going to get food from one location to another?
Magic. You can sail a boat, apparently.
Across the plains of America.
Yeah, from California to Arizona, just take a boat.
Put wheels on it and put the sail and just wait for the wind.
They're going to make sail cars.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh! Like, I really don't think she thinks things through.
No,
it sounds wonderful, but there's a lot more that goes into it. Like,
yeah, I don't think. I mean, I don't. Again, like, I've taken a serious look at like electric cars, and just sort of considering like on a day-to-day basis, like, yeah, I can probably get away with it, but it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't interest me. Like, I mean, it's much more convenient to be able to get gas wherever I want. Like,
what about a hybrid?
the hybrids aren't really. The hybrids are most efficient in city driving when you're doing low speed, like stop to 20 or stop to 30 miles an hour.
Have you seen Toyota's RAV4? 600 miles.
I'd like to verify how they came upon that number.
Interwebs.
Well, that's the thing is there's no real standard in terms of like miles per gallon. I don't think in terms of like, I don't know. They have it, but I haven't really studied it, I should say.
Let me see.
Because I have seen those billboards. Like, I've seen,
Yeah.
like, I think it was like a hybrid Avalon or a Camry that said something like 900 miles or something crazy, like some crazy number. And I was like, but how did they come up with that number? And like, in what type of driving conditions?
Well,
And,
that's true.
you know,
keep in mind for sure.
At what speed? I mean,
Right.
At 20 miles an hour, I mean, sure, probably, but yeah, I don't know.
Is it 600? Let me see.
I don't know. It was some crazy number.
Toyota 600 mile range. It's the RAV4. The 2019 Toyota RAV4 hybrid will have a 600 mile range.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how that plays out and in what type of driving conditions.
Yeah, the article.
Because if you're unless they have the hybrid system like unless they have a hybrid system similar to the Chevy Volt, but then it would require a big battery. At which point, I mean, I guess it would kind of make sense. So the where that was different is that it was strictly an electric car.
Yeah.
But the gasoline engine charged, basically ran a generator to charge the batteries. At least my understanding of it anyway, which may be incorrect. But and I do remember that was different about it. And now it's weird, but I don't see a whole lot of those on the road. I definitely don't see a lot of the original hybrid, at least one that was more popular, I think, before the Prius, which was the Honda Insight. Those were Those were, I think,
Those were like the first ones, weren't they?
I want to say those were before the Prius even became actually popular. I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense in terms of like being convenient. At least to me, like I could stop and get gas on the way home if I'm running low on gas.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
And there's gas stations everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to Google or try to find. Oh man, the next one.
I mean, there is a website that will show you where there's electric, like where you
Charging
can plug in your car.
stations?
Yeah, yeah. But then it's like, okay, so you get to an electric charging station,
How long does
and
it
then you
take?
have to plug it in, and then what? Like you have to wait 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
If not more.
It takes that long to charge?
Oh yeah,
Holy crap.
yeah. It depends. So I'll send you guys a video later of a guy that does a really good job of explaining, like, you know, kind of the limitations of charging and why not, you know, why you can't charge from or you know. So
But
the thing that like will, you know, that a lot of people says, oh yeah, you know, Tesla charges from, you know, to 80% by, you know, in half an hour or 15 minutes or whatever the hell with their superchargers, right? What they don't tell you is given that same power source, that last 20% can take just as long as that first 80% because of the battery technology.
But what I was gonna ask, how about your house? You can't just plug it into the wall, right?
You can, but
It takes
it's
longer.
it's a 15 to 20 amp circuit,
Yeah.
and that's a lot less. I mean, you can probably, depending on the battery size, and like I said, I'll send you guys a video. Depending on the battery size, and the type of the maximum charge that it can accept, plugging it in and charging it overnight with just a standard like household plug,
Yeah.
without adding another circuit to your house,
Right.
you'll maybe charge like 30 to 50 miles
That's
in 8 hours.
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Shit,
That's
I drive
whack.
that in a day.
Yeah, no shit.
More than
Yeah.
that.
Well, I drive less than that, so I mean, I guess theoretically that would work for me, but
yeah,
Not for me.
not for me.
yeah. So
So I was looking into I was actually looking up about thorium and using that in nuclear reactors. Apparently it's safer than uranium or whatever. Because it can be easily be stopped, and because the operation does not have to take place under extreme pressures. Thorium reactors produce far less waste, and the waste that is generated is much less radioactive and much shorter lived,
well, yeah, but it's nuclear, so that's bad.
which it's not.
It's literally like you're taking something like, yes, of course, you know, there is that part to deal with is the waste, but it's not really like there's ways to manage that, right? It's not, I don't know if it's necessarily
Everything
like
has
an
waste.
emission, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is you can't, there's no free energy, period.
None.
There's
And-
there's just not.
And the only emissions that nuclear reactors create
Steam.
is steam, vapor.
Yeah.
That's it. Clouds. For the longest time, I thought nuclear reactors. When I saw those clouds come out, I thought that was like smoke, like that was like pollution.
Yeah.
Because I've seen I remember in grade school, I would see videos about pollution. They would show nuclear reactors, and you would see the clouds come out. So I thought, oh, that's pollution. But you know, when I got older, I found out that's just
steam.
vapor. It's just clouds.
Yeah.
It's just steam.
Yeah.
It's one of the cleanest fuels, cleanest fuels. But of course, people don't want to use uranium. But if we can use thorium, then
Yeah, that's
why not?
interesting. It'd be an interesting. I mean, I would imagine that it's maybe not as efficient, and that's why they were using uranium previously. But who knows? I mean,
And I think I had read that thorium can just be found in dirt, like
yeah.
you know. So you have like an endless.
I mean, so is
supply,
uranium.
really. Yeah,
Really. I mean,
that's true.
yeah.
But if it's safer alternative to uranium, then why not?
Yeah, it'd be an interesting thing to look into. I'll have to look into that.
Compared to solar panels, like they have a shelf life. What are we gonna do with that waste? Because it has heavy metals
Yeah.
and things like that. It's hard to
I don't-
dispose of that. Like
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's a way to recycle them.
there isn't. at this point, right now, there
Yeah.
isn't. Not to mention the amount of land that it takes up, the amount of animals you have to move out of that land,
Not just that,
displacing.
not just that, but if we like, and I don't know if you sent it or if I sent it to you. The video explaining like the demand of power and why solar doesn't really work, because solar by itself, cool, yeah, it'll provide you in a perfect day, it'll provide you power during the day, but what do
Yeah.
you do at night when everybody gets home and the demand for power spikes?
Mm-hmm.
you know with other power plants, yeah, you can ramp up your production or whatever. um with natural gas, I think it's easier to do that,
I
as opposed to like with nuclear. Nuclear is pretty just stable because it takes a long time to actually ramp up, if they even do it at all.
Yeah.
But then you're talking about like, okay, so then we'll just build batteries to store the power. Now you got to oversize that system for the demand, and now you've got to build batteries. Okay, but batteries are another thing that has heavy metals, and you have to mine for it, and there's waste
Yep.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's one of those things that it's like,
Oh,
it's misguided. I
and
mean,
speaking of heavy metals and the supplies we need for that, there are kids that are mining for that,
yeah,
that are dying for those precious metals. For that iPhone that you love to use, that you love to use to post, social justice post about the injustices in the world.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, and that's the one thing that I noticed is, at least with iPhones, to me, it doesn't seem like I have to upgrade as often as I did before. And then the last phone, and the only reason like I got this phone is because the last one I had, it was running weird and it was running slow. And after doing a bit more research, and after I'd already gotten this one, I found out that Apple was doing they would change the battery for $35. I paid them $35. They changed the battery. It worked like brand new.
I'm
You know.
about to do that with my old iPhone, the iPhone 5S.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that same program. They might. I don't know. But I mean, I didn't notice that they had the same program for, you know, or even the ability. Like there wasn't really a store that I could take my Android phones from Google for them to change the battery.
Yeah.
You know, and I found that about a year to a year and a half, they just started running slow, like they start glitching.
Yeah, that's what mine's doing right now. This is a Pixel 2, and it's been glitching.
Yeah, and I bet if you change the battery on it, it would run as good as new.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably will.
Yeah.
But how to do that? That's what I got to find out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, there's nowhere where you can just, oh yeah, here, I'll take it, and just have them change the battery out on it.
Oh man,
you guys were all talking about solar. I like their pitch when they come in and talk to you. Oh, well, you don't have to pay your electric bill. I was like, really? Tell me how. And they go through the spiel, and I was like, okay, so you're saying I don't have to pay my electric bill, but I have to pay my monthly payment for the things. Yeah, but it's less and blah blah. I was like, no, I'd rather just pay my electric bill. I was like, I'm better. I'm not gonna be stuck to you guys for like 20 years, and then I was like, nah.
Not just that, but I found out that if you don't get the installation, like the paperwork and the lease on the installation done the right way, like it can really fuck you when you go to like
sell it, or
when you go, even if you go to refinance, like because they can somehow make it so that it ends up being troublesome for that.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like I was talking to somebody about a refinance, and they asked me like, "Oh, do you have solar panels?" I was like, "It's a weird question." Like, oh yeah, no, because they explained that like, yeah, I can screw up with that.
They had this other loan, the Hero loan, that was screwing a lot of people too.
Yeah,
like if you want to do an upgrade to your house and stuff like that, they would tie in that money to your house, so it would have to be paid before you could sell your house.
Yeah,
so it's just pretty much a lien towards your house and stuff like that. So
yeah, I saw stuff falling around about that. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking about to like do upgrade your windows or whatever the fuck
with the Hero program. But yeah, that thing ended up being,
dude, just refinancing your house. I mean, sometimes it can be good, but very seldom. But it's just just open up another loan on your house. Just doesn't make sense.
Don't make those. Don't make sense.
Well,
Nah.
well, sometimes they can. I mean,
Sometimes.
when the interest rate gets lower and
Oh
you know,
yeah.
But then you have to start over.
Well, yes and no. Depends. You can do a refinance just to lower your. You don't have to take additional money out.
Yeah.
So.
Or you could
But
take.
would it start over your 30-year term, or can you do like a 15?
Not if it's an APR, no.
I don't know how that works. I think it would, but then necessarily like if you're taking out a loan for a lower amount at a lower interest rate, it would just lower your mortgage payment if you're taking it out for the same amount that you owe. I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so too. No expert, but
it would lower your payment. But my question is like, are you stuck again for another 30-year term?
I think so, but at a lower payment. I mean, I guess you can pay it off soon. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
What if you continued making your higher payment? Right.
Then that would
then it would actually speed it up.
We would have to talk to our real estate guy.
Yeah,
we would.
Yeah, that would actually speed it up. Now that I think about it, because at least I know for where I pay my mortgage through, like I can make additional payments to just the principal or just the interest rate.
Hold on, let me see if he answers. Hold on, I want to say, hey, I gotta. I'm calling Juan Aguirre.
It's John.
Oh, John Aguirre. No, he's not gonna pick up. He would have picked up already. That'd have been a good question to ask him too.
Well, next time we'll
next time he's here, we'll ask him. I just like.
Jose Lopez asked, "How's training going? Beast mode, Eddie?"
Yeah, it's been good, man. We're talking about, so we're doing, so the meal plan. I have a meal plan I have to do. I have to work out 5 days a week. Every day is different. So far I'm 12 pounds less now since I started 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
That was me.
No, but yeah, man, I've been good. I just a couple more, and then I actually saw Kiki on Wednesday, and I was telling him that I'm probably ready to start running again. I just need to like lose a couple more pounds, and then I'll try it again.
All right,
see what happens. But yeah, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, everything's good so far.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than I'm sore, my legs are sore today. And then fucking with me.
I knew that was coming.
But yeah, thanks, Jose.
Oh man, so Larry and I are wearing our hats from the Whiskey Wonderland. I'm repping Glyph, which I like their lab whiskey.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then Larry's wearing the Starward, which is the Melbourne, Australia distillery.
Yep.
And luckily Australia got some rain.
Yeah. Yeah, now I heard they're worried about flash floods, which makes sense. I mean,
right. Vegetation's gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing to really hold back the water.
Or the water can fall too fast. Yeah. That's crazy.
Mudslides. It's just Mother Nature doing what it does.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you been watching the impeachment stuff?
No.
I purposely really stayed away from it
because it's just at this point it's frustrating. The way that Schiff tries to portray shit like saying like, oh, it's an injustice. It's like, no, the injustice is with you.
Well, that's the thing is like, I don't know at what point of the actual hearing they're in. I don't know if they're at the point where they have to introduce actual evidence. I don't know. Like I said, I've taken a break from it.
Yeah.
In terms of like the whole thing, because even watching what they were doing before was just like.
Well, I think from what I remember, they're still blocking Republicans from having their witnesses, and like they're still blocking that.
Yeah.
So it's like you want to talk about a fair trial, like there is no fair trial, and it's not like the Democrats or whatever. They're not the ones that we owe a fair trial to. It's the one that's being accused.
Right, and that's the thing that a lot of the times they seem to keep missing. It's like, oh, he has to prove his innocence, this and then it's like, no, that's not how that works. Like, you have to have evidence of what you're doing, or accusing somebody of doing.
Hmm.
That's how the justice system works. The last time I checked, or at least it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And them, supposedly being so reverent to the Constitution now that it, you know, they seem to be able to gain something from it. Should notice that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, again, they're simple concepts that you learn in high school.
Yeah. Like I like to listen to, that Viva Fry guy, the Canadian.
He's fucking Canadian and he gets it.
Yeah. Like I did listen to a video recently where he's talking about like they have there really is no crime
No,
that they're trying to impeach him for,
no.
and even he agreed like this is pretty much a pretty dangerous precedent
Yeah,
for the future
yeah,
presidents.
because
by the
it's
way.
I don't like him, so we're
We're
gonna.
just gonna find something, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
We're gonna find an excuse.
pretty much. So yeah, no, I pretty much try to stay away. I didn't really watch the impeachment hearings or anything like that. Like it's just pointless at this point.
Yeah, I started watching or listening on the radio, and I had to fucking turn off because everyone that came up or was talking the same damn thing. It was like a broken record.
Yeah.
They just word it differently. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so no,
It's always and the I don't know, it's always misrepresented. Like Schiff, like at the phone call,
yeah.
like he made it seem like it was a mob call. Like, look, you do this for me, you don't call me, I call you. This is what I expect from you, and blah blah blah. It's like, no, dude, that's not how the phone call went.
No.
I don't know what phone call you listened to, and they keep saying like, oh, Trump blatantly asked him to investigate Biden. No, he
No.
didn't.
Yeah. It's like when, it's like a high school girl conversation where like, where they overuse and don't understand the meaning of literally,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what Trump asked was to look into the servers. The
Yeah.
president of Ukraine is the one who brought up the whole Biden thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I just figured I'd ask, but I didn't keep up with it. It's during my work day. I have shit to do. I have better stuff to listen to.
Yeah.
Hasn't really kept me interested. Or hasn't really interested me at all to begin with. So.
It's just old at this point, man.
Yeah.
It's
No,
old.
it's-
You
yeah.
just know.
we know. I mean, we know what they're gonna say.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna come out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's impeached. Whatever.
Well, no. What's gonna come out of it is re-election. That's what's gonna come.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's like, speaking of re-election, did you watch the Tim Pool video where he was talking about or Joe Rogan endorsing Bernie Sanders?
Oh yeah, and how Bernie Sanders supporters are giving Bernie slack because Joe Rogan's a far right person. So
Yeah.
which makes no sense, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was interesting. Somebody was like, they're so committed to losing the election that they'll criticize somebody like endorsing their guy, and it wasn't even really an endorsement. Like,
Because Bernie cut out the part, or his campaign, I don't know, whoever posted it.
I want to say I listened to that exact same one
Yeah.
because I want to say that like he was just kind of bullshitting,
Mhm.
kind of like, yeah, I liked Bernie before or whatever. I like Bernie. Tulsi Gabbard's cool too.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
But they cut out the
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard part.
Yeah, of
Correct.
course.
Yeah.
So, it's still gonna. I still think it's gonna be Joe Biden that's gonna get the nomination.
Of course.
That's who they're gonna choose to lose with.
He's sitting back and just, man, I forgot who I was talking to, but oh no, somebody posted on Facebook they posted a clip of Joe Biden trying to get through his speech, and it was just hard for him to get through his speech. He was like fumbling, and it was hard to watch, man. Like I was like, man, I felt sorry for him. Like I didn't even want to make fun of him.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like, just maybe sit this one out, man. I don't. It doesn't look like he's doing too well.
He's the chosen one, though. I have a hard time believing they're gonna pick anybody else. They're not gonna pick Warren.
And then
that's for sure.
no.
They're definitely not picking Sanders.
Oh no.
I mean,
No,
because
for
you
sure.
already have Hillary talking shit, saying nobody likes them and nobody wants to work with them. There's been talks about
that.
Obama saying that he's been considering coming out and saying that he doesn't.
And then Project Veritas,
Oh yeah,
exposing his staffers, talking about re-educating the Trump supporters, not just Nazis, because they're trying to frame it as like, oh yeah, well we need to re-educate Nazis. No, he said Trump supporters.
Yes,
that means people of color, anybody sent to the gulags to be re-educated. And if they don't comply, then shoot them dead.
Yeah, I found that that's part of what I was listening to. I was like, what? Really? And it's funny because the Veritas videos all pretty much look the same. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of like the camera perspective, like when they were talking, they've caught other people like that they talked to. Mm-hmm. It's weird, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Like,
and multiple staffers have like locked their social media accounts.
Yeah.
Because it makes you wonder why.
Yeah, because then they would have. But see, that's the thing is, I think until the candidates realize that the people on Twitter talking about politics are not real people, like that's not the majority of America.
It is not.
Like most people aren't even on Twitter. Like they're living their day-to-day lives. Like they're working a job like anybody else. They got other shit to focus on.
Yeah.
They don't have time to be outraged by Joe Rogan.
It's like, I got bills to pay, man.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing is like, yeah, there's shit that Joe has said before that like I definitely don't agree with. Like he's definitely a FUD in terms of when it comes to gun rights. Like,
yeah.
But I get it. Like that's his opinion. I mean, his opinion changes a lot depending on who he's talking to, which it makes sense. I mean, he's not gonna invite somebody on his podcast to berate them or make them feel bad.
I think he did that with Steven Crowder about the whole marijuana issue.
I'll have to listen to that one.
Like he was really getting on him. Like you tell Joe was pretty intoxicated and like he was like going off on him and berating Steven Crowder, kind of being a dick.
Yeah.
Speaking of Steven Crowder, so for catechism, we showed these kids this video called "Saving a Life" or something like that, "Saving One Life," something like that. But Steven Crowder was in that movie when he was way younger.
Really?
And it was a Christian film, which it's just like the acting is cheesy, the production is cheesy, like it's cringe. It's cringe, but it was a good movie nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, as long as the message is good, I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, he was on that. I was like, oh shoot, that's Steven Crowder.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, I've stayed away from it. I don't know. I've stayed away from news in general this week. Yeah. I might pick it back up next week. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if it's not just the same thing over and over again, we'll see.
Like this week, I tried watching videos of like the Women's March, the One Life March, which was the pro-life march, and I just had to stop watching. The one for the Women's March, I had to stop watching. It was infuriating. The other ones, I mean, it was.
Why was it infuriating? Because women don't deserve rights?
No,
is that why it was infuriating?
That's exactly why. No, it's because
they have the rights. Like I get it.
Because the interviewer was trying to, get a conversation going, but all you would just hear is just hate and just like just berating and just angry, and like he would I guess challenge or question their position, and they would just automatically bigot, automatically
Nazi, racist.
Or they would chant Nazi go home or bigot go home. It's like, dude, he's just finding out, trying to question your position on this. Like
yeah, or trying to understand it. If you don't agree with it, then maybe try to understand it.
Correct. So he would do that on that, but then he would do it on the One Life, and he would actually have some conversations with people like he would challenge their positions, and they would actually try to explain their positions without getting emotional, without getting like, oh,
without
well,
insulting them or dismissing them.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
actually have a conversation, and that's calming to watch. But to watch the other thing, like I had to shut it off. I was like, I can't
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. No, I mean,
It's stressful.
I would definitely be open to watch an opposing view being discussed.
Hmm.
It was funny. I was watching a video of Killer Mike talking to a group of people, and there's a lot of stuff that he talks about that I agree with, but I fall off when he's like supporting Bernie Sanders
Yeah.
because he's talking about like that. The one in the one video he's talking about like, oh yeah, you guys are just right now you're arguing about who has the better master, and he's like America. He was talking about like America being great 7 years after the Civil War, when black people were buying property, obtaining property and
Business owners.
and being skilled labor, and
Mhm.
talked about immigration and how that affects the black community,
Right.
that sort of thing. And I mean, I thought it was like there's a lot of stuff that I agree with, but there's a lot of stuff that like I don't agree with. But I
Mhm.
like his way of presenting it. Like I like the way he talks about things and how he talks things through.
Yeah, if you think like when I heard that the first time, I was blown away because like, yeah, that does make sense. Like after the whole freeing of the slaves, like they were the ones that had all the skills.
They were skilled labor.
They were skilled labor, so they were able to, um, sell their skills
Yeah.
at whatever price they wanted,
Yeah.
and they were able to prosper off of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But
then Bernie Sanders.
yeah, right. Like that's just like it's like I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
Like
So it's like you want that, but then you want to get taxed up the ass.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's just the thing is it comes down to like even with the whole student loan forgiveness thing, it's like I don't care that it's gonna cost somebody else money. I just want what benefits me, and what benefits me is not having to pay a student loan. And it's like
Mhm.
no, like you took that loan, like it's just that whole I was stuck on that for a while. Like somebody with a college education, I don't even know if they were a graduate. Honestly, I hope for their sake they weren't.
Yeah.
But telling me that like when you borrow money, you shouldn't have to pay back more than what you originally borrowed. It's like, yeah, I mean, if I'm borrowing $5 from you to get tacos,
Yeah.
like that's one thing. But if I'm borrowing a few 100,000
To make
to
a few 100,000.
to oh I'll get it back to you, like not even like something that like is tangible, like because if I said, oh, I was going to use it to buy an airplane, it's like, oh, okay, well,
If you don't pay me
if
back,
you
I'll
don't pay
take
me
your
back,
airplane.
yeah, and I'll sell it and I'll recuperate some money.
Yeah.
But that's hard to understand, hard concept that
It can
we were
be.
taught in high school. Not even the best high school. We're taught in Rubino, for fuck's sake.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard out there too. And that's the thing. It's just like, oh, yeah, you can call me a commie and say, but I think everybody deserves an education. It's like, I'm not gonna call you a commie. You're just indoctrinated. Like, it's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that you go through college and yet you can't understand a basic economic concept of when something is in high demand, the price for it goes up.
And here's the thing about education too. Not everybody likes sitting in a classroom. Not everybody can learn that way.
No, and that's the
No.
one thing I talked about, like, because they were like, oh yeah, like, everybody tells us that that we need a college degree to get a good job. It's like, who tells you that? The same people that eliminated a lot of the occupational programs out of schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what tells you that. And it's a self-licking lollipop. You have academia telling you that you need more education because that's the only way to succeed in life.
Yeah.
And who does that benefit? Other teachers. Other non. And that's another thing I was looking into is in certain educational systems, like the amount of non-teaching administrators is astronomical compared to like the number of teachers that are being hired.
Really?
Versus, so I think, and this is an old article I was looking at. It said something like, so despite a 92% increase in students, schools hired. I want to say it was like they hired 250% more teachers, but over 750% more non-teaching administrators.
And what do those administrators do?
I don't know. I don't know.
What the heck?
And that's the thing is I understand the need for it, but I don't like. There was something crazy like I forget what I was trying to look for this one article that was saying like the actual ratio of like teachers to administrator. I want to say it was some ridiculous number, like something that I was just like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what that number was. I want to say it was something like 8-1 or 7-1 or even as high as 10-1. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't remember, but I have to look into it. And just even just those stats, like just that number, that hiring, that increased percentage in hiring, like just seems weird.
It does seem weird.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's something to look into as well in terms of learning why the cost of education is so high, even at the K through 12 level. Is that there's a lot of administrators per teacher.
Yeah.
At least from what that article or that I read a long time ago. I'll have to see if I can re-find it or find more recent data. But yeah, that's why schools are so expensive.
That's wild.
And it's the quality of education is going down because again, can't fail people because it makes them feel bad.
And then I'm sure the classes, like there's too many students per teacher, right?
Yeah,
that's another one thing too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah. Was it like that when you went to college?
No.
Oh, you did online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do that. No.
Was there too many students?
Yeah. Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did online. I didn't do well. I did some classroom, but even the classroom wasn't that bad. I think there was only 15 to one teacher, so
nice.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm ready to call it a night.
Yeah.
I'm ready to call it a podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yes. And we'll see you next time.
All right.
Peace.
Later.